We can start now? Or are we waiting for Sister Sharon?
Sister Sharon is here.
Oh, she's here already. Okay.
Nice.
Okay, we will start now. I'm just letting you know that I'm outside, so today Lita will do most of the talking.
Yeah, no problem.
So take it over, Lita.
Okay, so thanks all of you for taking your time for coming to this session. Basically, what we'll be doing is to run through the ED-Nurse Gamelet. Okay, can you all see my screen? The login page? Can you see the login page?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so just a quick run through. Basically, when you log in into our application, this is the page that will be facing you. We'll be giving you credentials for individual credentials to log in. So once you put your credentials in and log in, you'll be faced with the main page. Right, this is what you'll see. The title of this project, this game, is called Infection Prevention and Control. Okay, so you just click into this. This is like the main page, the main game within which there will be gamelets. Right, so when you go in, you'll see the individual gamelets. For now, we have put all of them together, but when you are accessing it, you will only see the gamelet that's relevant to you, lah. So on the first time you enter, you will see a download button. So please download it and wait for a while. Once it's finished downloading, you'll be play. So you go in, just tap on your gamelet and you play. Okay, so we begin with an introduction slide. Hang on, let me just move my...
Now can you give your comment on, like, if narrow, this is not actually what happening, you don't do this, you do that, and you survey forward, all this still can change.
Yeah. So please do give your feedback and comments whenever you see something that's out of place. So we begin with an introduction slide. Ambulance comes in, casualty is being brought in, right? And you tell them, okay, let's send him to area P2. So this is just an intro comic establishing the scene, the patient being sent to area P2. And we begin with a tutorial movement. Basically use WASD to move your character, and then Q and E buttons to swivel the camera, or use the right mouse button to swivel your camera. Okay, and so this is the emergency department nurse that you'll be playing as. Right, so ED nurse has some dialogue. Okay, looks like the triage nurse has brought in a new patient. I better have a look. Right. So when you approach the patient, this is just a reminder first. It is very important for me to be vigilant in observing proper hand hygiene protocols. I should perform hand hygiene before handling the patient and for all procedures. So you can either head to the sink or to the hand rub bottle that is at the edge of the emergency trolley. Right. Once you're there, we'll just show a quick slide. This is just a reminder on the 7 steps lah, basically. Right, once you're done with hand hygiene, you go back. Okay, so the triage nurse tells, okay, Rosalind, the patient's name is Jenkins. He's an RTA, multiple laceration wounds and right leg fracture. Say, okay, thank you, I will take over from here and alert Dr. Darrow. So here we see her moving the patient into the assigned cubicle, and she is touching the patient here. Okay, and then the ED nurse says, okay, I should call Dr. Darrow from the nurse's station and let him know of this new patient. So we ask, is it necessary to perform hand hygiene here? As you saw from the previous slide, she did touch the patient, so she has to perform hand hygiene here. If you say no, you're very incorrect. You must perform hand hygiene after making physical contact with the patient. Right? So we loop again, we ask, is it necessary to perform hand hygiene here? Say yes. You say correct. You must perform hand hygiene after making physical contact with the patient. So once that is done, we have to head off to call Dr. Darrow. Just now, is it from the nurse's station? So here. So we're calling Dr. Darrow. Hello, Dr. Darrow. New patient has arrived in P2, RTA, multiple laceration wounds, and right leg fracture. Could you come over? Right. So now this is the doctor performing his examination. Basically, this part of the gamelet belongs to the doctor's part. So you're only playing from the perspective of the nurse. Right. So the doctor performs the wound examination. Edina says, okay, Dr. Darrow has ordered to put Mr. Jenkins on an IV infusion. I should perform it now. I should gather the requisites and perform it. So I ask, you need to perform hand hygiene here? Yes, you need to perform hand hygiene before gathering the IV requisites. Okay, so this is a mini game for you to identify what are the appropriate and inappropriate tools when setting up an IV infusion, right? So yeah, this is the one. So you should be selecting the correct requisites. You get it wrong, you can try again 3 times.
Lee, was the previous mini game you need to remove that, is it?
Yeah, we
This
need
is
to
the actual
remove that one. Yeah. So
Okay.
this is the actual one, right? So
Okay,
you
so
just
can we do that before we release it for the nurses to evaluate?
yeah, definitely.
Okay, thanks.
So once we click, you select the correct requisites. Right, I don't know what's the requisites lah, but anyway, once you fail 3 times, they will review the answer. Okay, so requisites is IV drip, IV tubing, alcohol swab, saline, pre-filled saline syringe, micropore tape, and gloves. Right, Tegaderm, cotton ball strips, and gowns. These 4 are not needed for an IV infusion. Okay, so we move on. So dialogue. Okay, Mr. Jenkins, the doctor has ordered to put you on IV drip. I'm going to set it up in a while. Okay. Patient says okay. Let me counter check the details with the senior nurse before I set up the IV infusion. So here she's just talking to the patient. She's not actually touching the environment, right? Say, okay, I've checked the 7 rights for Mr. Jenkins. I'll head over and set up the IV infusion now, right? So you see all the barang is ready already. Once you head over, they ask you, is it necessary to perform hand hygiene here? The way I wrote it was that you don't have to, but according to the feedback I got from Sister Sharon and her team last time was that no matter what, you have to perform hand hygiene before you set up any infusion. So the correct answer here should be yes, right? So it should be yes. I need to change this over. Okay, so once you perform hand hygiene, they'll guide you to drag the correct steps in the sequence when preparing the IV tubing. So let's see. Basically, you drag the steps in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you clean rubber bung, spike, prime, and hang. Okay. Yeah, Sister Sharon, I can remember you did ask for the last 3 stickers to be collapsed. So we will be doing that change in the next iteration. Okay, just pointing it out here. So once this is done, we get it correct. Right, say, okay, I've prepped the IV infusion. Now I'll need to connect and start the IV. All right, so is it necessary to perform hand hygiene before you connect? Yes, you must. Right, so these are the steps. Right, don glove, scrub the needles connector 10 times in circular motion with alcohol swab, flush IV cannula, scrub 10 times again with a new swab, clean the connecting port with of the IV tubing with a new alcohol swab, and then connect it to the patient. Right, so this is the procedure for, just now was to prepare the IV tubing, now is to connect the IV drip, the IV tubing. Okay. So you see, there's a comic showing that she's connecting the IV tubing to the patient. Clearly, she has touched the patient already at this point. So you have to bear that in mind. Now, but first we do disposing. When disposing of consumables, I should dispose the consumables, then remove gloves and dispose them. Yes.
Sorry, just now that scene, the one that you show, she's contacting with the patient's tubing, right? Have to draw with glove.
Okay.
A hand without glove. Now the glove come back again when she's holding the kidney dish.
Okay.
So we take out glove for that.
Okay. Let me just note this down. Okay. I continue first, huh? Okay, so this one.
I mean, like, you know, those new nurses, yeah, they can pay, but those like mid-level, right? It's too simple already. Yeah, if you like, I need a bit more like challenge.
Hey, give me some scenario that's challenging so I can think of what to put inside.
So this one we finish up as an introduction first.
Okay, that's the case.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so you dispose the consumables, remove gloves, and then dispose of them. Right? So once that's done, okay, IV infusion set up ready. So you see this thing is here already. Time to head off for a break. So do you need to perform hand hygiene? Say yes, because you fiddle with the. I mean, you perform the connecting of the IV tube. So you have to perform hand hygiene after that. Right. Once that is done, heads off for a break. So now some time has passed already. Okay, so Dr. Darrow has ordered a wound dressing for Mr. Jenkins. I'll wipe down a procedure trolley and gather the tools. Right, so we cut. Okay, she has the requisites for the wound dressing ready. Now she'll perform it. This one. Oops, sorry. Yeah, so that one was the steps when performing a wound dressing with attention to the hand hygiene moments. So now I've completed dressing patient Jenkins' wounds. I'll need to dispose of them as well. Right, so this is you have to pack and dispose, doff the gloves, hand hygiene, wipe trolley, hand hygiene again, and then you leave. Okay, once this is done, you say, okay, Mr. Jenkins, your wound dressing is done. We're now waiting for Dr. Darrow to return to see whether you have to be admitted. Patient says, okay, thank you. So Dr. Darrow arrives. Okay, Mr. Jenkins, how are you feeling? Okay, do I need to be hospitalized? Yes, need to admit you for further observation. Are you agreeable with that? Patient, okay, or no choice law? Right, we need to do an MRSA screening on you. Patient says okay, so we perform the MRSA screening. I've done the nasal swab. Now I have to send it off for you have to send the sample off. So is it necessary to perform hand hygiene? Yes, you have to perform after performing a nasal swab on the patient. Right. So yeah, over here I made it go to the entrance to go to the exit to send the samples off, but it's been brought to my attention by Sister Sharon that it's done from the nursing station. So we'll have that corrected. So once she heads out, some time passed. Okay, MRSA results came back positive. So we have to practice contact precautions when attending to the patient. Okay, patient says okay. Say, Mr. Jenkins, is a pamphlet for you to tell you more about MRSA. A bed is ready for you in the general ward. The porter and I will be transferring you in a few moments. Okay, thank you. So this is, they're transferring the patient to the general ward. So now we're at the general ward here. The nurse says, I should assist the porter to transfer the patient. Say, patient has MRSA. I must don PPE and perform hand hygiene procedures when handling him. So this one, the steps when you are transferring a patient.
Can you, Lee, can you drag and show one of the activity instead of just submitting?
Yeah, I'll do it for.
Are you done? Is there one more?
No, there's no one after this one.
This is the last one. Oh, okay.
Yep. So you don your yellow gown, hand hygiene, don gloves, then you transfer the patient. So this is the part that Sister Sharon was asking to break into two separate mini games lah. Yeah. Okay, so that means we'll break the sequence 1, 2, 3, 4 as one mini game, and then 5, 6, 7, 8 as the second mini game. Means one for donning and one for doffing.
We wait for the MRSA result, right? Then sometimes we don't know whether this patient had got MRSA. Then when we know the MRSA status, right? So when we attend to the patient, we have to wear a gown.
No,
No,
just
right.
this patient extended precaution.
Yeah, because this patient with other patients also, they are in the ward lah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they got some of them already are sleeping well.
some lah, but
It depends on close bodily contact, like sponging. If not, they just do, they don't. Hand hygiene is the main one. Also close. Yesterday I see that man also cannot help himself. So the nurse is very full on. She just got a pair of gloves. Is that continue?
Okay. Okay, so once she's done that, now she's done her hand hygiene already. She's not touching the patient anymore already. So are you comfortable, Mr. J? So you have to pay attention that here she's not touching the patient anymore lah. So are you comfortable, Mr. Jenkins? Yes. Okay, I'm going back to my department. If there's anything, just press the call button. Okay, thank you, nurse. So is it necessary to perform hand hygiene? No, because she hasn't touched the patient in between. Okay, then that's the end of the ED nurses gamelet.
but you still have to do it. You have to go do because you touch the surrounding.
Yeah, it's like you already explained that the nurse hand never touch the surrounding.
Oh.
Yeah, but I know, like, even before we leave we just
Sorry, I'm not hearing very clear. Rita, what is?
Let's go back on what's that.
Sorry, the last scene just now, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, can.
The last scene just now, right? Change it to the nurse actually come in contact with
Yes.
the surrounding, then change the question to like yes.
Must perform, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last,
So it
yeah,
was
I remember. Last round, Sister Sharon got said to change to make her touch the environment to complete it.
But people make us so confused. Don't know whether this is the new changes or old changes. That's why we did after all the comments. Hey, but then you all can give it a comment. Because the case is so simple, you don't want this.
oh no, this so we when we thought it was but now as professors that is MRSA positive, so it makes the
So they actually made the hand hygiene, safe injection practices and
maybe can we put the ISOs as well? Like the isolation, like how you count.
Like there's a couple of proposals like I think we have to practice the standard, the droplet. Like what type of TB? What is your precaution for TB? And then like for example, precaution TB we have to wear N95 and all that stuff. So there's a couple of I think there's standard, there's droplet, there's airborne. All these precautions can be played. This one because not many people know for which precaution what type of gear to use. For example, is it your N95, is it your gown, is it your glove and all that stuff?
and you can give me some scenario we can actually add in.
It's not mentioned the TV, right? That one's airborne precaution.
triage.
Oh, yeah, so
Then go ISO, then from ISO, then we put
But they put in so much of hard work, don't change a lot now.
oh no,
This is how many
no, this is how many scenarios do you need? This is good for entry level lah. Already.
But they only have one game for ED. Insert some difficult scenario.
I thought there were
That's all already.
I thought a lot of people
Yeah, this is good enough. This is good enough.
Yeah.
This is good.
Maybe we all mid level or high level.
This is actually good enough. That's like the action. So entry level.
Entry level is good now.
Yeah. So what the
Yeah. When you want to say, I mean, should you develop your game in the future? I mean, this is your future lah. Now you can roll out this. In the future, what I was telling about the number of precautions that you need for different. For example, if you want to say TB, right? Even chickenpox also they don't know. No, chickenpox, you know what type of BB or to wear and all that, what type of mask to wear and all that stuff. So this one they must know lah. So because I have having to keep on read back the PNP lah. Not everybody will read back the
because
PNP.
the points where sometimes where do they dig out? And when you get empty room, is it outside? Do you have not before dig out? in the next future now. But for this current thing, I think this is good enough.
Enough lah.
Yeah. Because there's progression from the basic, then after that,
So,
so
beginner.
positive. What you need to do.
Then after that you go to what? Intermediate.
Yeah.
Then you go to yeah lah. It's fun what? And you can advance.
And it involves a different perspective.
Alright. So the doctor will pay for third day, doctor will pay doctor day,
Yeah.
we still like health.
And so I honestly feel that this is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it covers a few grounds. Any other things that you like improve on, or you want things to like change? I think this is really good. That's what we changed. The last time we changed is running already, right?
Yeah, because their mentality, right? It undeniably, when you're moving around, you're hitting the surrounding.
Our things like subconscious,
Yeah,
they don't know.
Sometimes they don't know. So
So we make it standard